What characters could die during Season 1 of Star Wars Resistance? Well, in this week's community video, I share your thoughts on the topic, and first up we have Robin McCormick, who states in the comments, "I hope none of the main characters are going to die near the end of the show's first season. Look at Star Wars Rebels. They waited until Season 4 to kill off Kanan and remove Ezra from the picture. So it will probably be near the end of this series when one of the characters makes a big sacrifice or gets gunned down. Probably the ex-Imperial pilot." And I totally agree with Robin here. We're not going to lose one of our main characters in the first season. After 22 episodes, we're just barely going to know these characters, so it just doesn't make sense. However, I do think there are several minor characters that we might lose, and The Dark Knight suggests one of those. I can see Kaz and Torra having a bonding moment after the destruction of the Hosnian Prime for the loss of their family. So I suppose he's suggesting Captain Doza and Kaz's father are both going to die in that Hosnian Prime attack. And Did Monkey agrees with The Dark Knight, stating, "I hope Ahsoka or Ezra will show up in the finale and save them from the First Order, or we see Starkiller Base destroy the New Republic and Kaz has to deal with the death of his father." So the death of Kaz's father, I think, is a very realistic thing that could happen. Even in a kid's show, it could happen with the Starkiller Base. It would be off screen. We wouldn't actually see his father, but it would give Kaz a real challenge to have to work through in Season 2. Plus, I like the idea because it really raises the stakes as well. This is war. It's not peacetime anymore. So thanks for that comment, Did Monkey. I think that's a really great idea. Moving on to the Medieval Man 9, he suggested the ace pilot Bo Ka'Evil. "We almost know literally nothing about this character," he states in the comments. "We don't know where he comes from, why he's an ace, how he gets along with the rest of the aces, etc. In fact, we know pretty much only his name and the fact that he's a Keldor. We know more about Griff and Freya than we do about Bo Ka'Evil. For this reason, he's at the top of my list of characters who will die this season, and possibly opening the way for Tam to prove that she is at least as good a pilot as Hype." Well, Medieval Man 9, I really like that idea. Yes, Bo Ka'Evil, we don't know a lot about him, and maybe that's why, because he is going to die at the end of the season. Plus, I really love the speculation that Tam is going to get a chance to prove herself as a pilot. That would be cool. But moving on here, we have Crisis Among Infinite Darths, and he states, "I think Griff is going to die at the end of Season 1 by sacrificing himself and blowing up Colossus Station, so Team Fireball and the remaining aces escape. That way the First Order does not get their hands on the station." And I must say, I could totally see something like this happening, though personally for me, I think it would be Captain Doza going down with the station. I can really see him setting up some explosives and destroying it so that the First Order can't take over the Colossus. And Alex M agrees with me here, stating in the comments, "Also, Captain Doza may die because he would say that the Colossus is his place and home, and he will make it to the end if he has to." He also states that that would eventually break Torra, and yeah, I agree with you, Alex, here. Captain Doza just seems like a really old school guy, the type of captain that's going to go down with his ship, in this case the Colossus Station. So thanks for that comment, Alex, but let's move on here to Ward Lafferty, and he suggests not Yeager. He, along with Kaz, Torra, Tam, Hype, Niku, and Freya, will survive. Our first casualties will be Captain Doza and Aunt Z. Yeager will most likely die during episode 9. So Ward is again in support of Captain Doza dying in Season 1, and Aunt Z, that would be sad to see her go. I mean, really, the story of Resistance could be very similar to Rebels and the fact that the Colossus is occupied, but if it doesn't go that way and it goes a little more original, and the First Order try and take it over by force, Doza could destroy the Colossus. That just seems pretty unlikely since they put so much time into developing the Colossus, but even still, Captain Doza could be taken away or die in the defense of the Colossus as the First Order is attacking. But moving on here, we have another one from the Medieval Man 9, and he calls out Vonreg as one of the characters who may die. His comment stated, "We're first introduced to him in the pilot episode, and it's a dogfight between him, Kaz, and Poe. He's clearly a skilled pilot, as it took both Poe and Kaz to drive him off. To me, this just seems like blatant foreshadowing of a future fight between him and Kaz, with Kaz proving just how good a pilot he really is by shooting down the Major. Considering it took both him and Poe to drive him off the first time, however, I suspect it'll have to be Kaz and another pilot to beat him. I'm thinking it'll either be Torra, the most obvious choice, Tam, perhaps this is what proves herself worthy to be an ace, or Yeager, a very close tie, if not actually tied with Torra as a possibility. Vonreg is another I'm fairly confident will not survive the season, mostly because we don't see him in The Force Awakens, and his death over Colossus would be a very good explanation. Oh, that's a good point, Medieval Man 9. I hadn't really thought that the First Order characters aren't showing up in The Force Awakens, so they may actually die off in the first season or two. I think Kaz would most likely team up with Yeager to take down Vonreg, if that is how it's going to go. And it's just really exciting to think that at the end of this season, we may already be up to the Force Awakens point in the timeline. Whether that's the beginning of The Force Awakens or the end of The Force Awakens. That all said, thanks to all of you for commenting. I'm looking forward to hearing from you more. And remember to use the Force within you to make the Star Wars community a better place by sharing your theories and speculation. And you can do that by answering today's question of the day. And today that is, which Star Wars Rebels character would you love to see at the end of Season 1? Remember, at the end of Rebels, we get to see Ahsoka. So what similar character showing up at the Season 1 would make you jump out of your seat? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching Star Wars Speculation, and may the Force be with you.